Tow truck drivers cruise the streets looking for illegally parked cars. Now, if your car is towed, the bill can be pretty steep, about $450. Tonight, we look at how some of those tow truck drivers do their jobs. Police tell Julie Watts those drivers aren't always following the rules.
4 p.m., the witching hour. Tow trucks roam the streets and lie in wait, ready to tow illegally parked cars in downtown San Francisco. Within minutes, they're hooked up and dragged off to the impound lot operated by Auto Return, the city's tow contractor.
I saw the car was gone.
It happened to Jeff Moses from Monterey, in town for a business meeting. He admits he didn't move his car in time.
We all make mistakes.
So he paid his fines, but when he picked up his Mercedes,
It started making a funny noise, and I thought it was the muffler.
so he immediately filed a damage report with Auto Return. But when the noise got worse, he took it to 2 different mechanics.
And they told me that the engine shifted and the engine seals were broken. And the only way that could happen on a car like this Mercedes, was to have dropped.
The estimate, over $1,000. So Moses filed a claim with the city, which was promptly denied, and then he filed a claim with Auto Return. That too was denied.
They've just continued to deny the claim.
So who is responsible in cases like this? Well, even though the city is the one ordering the tows, it says it's not liable. In fact, it's spelled out right here in their towing contract. And what about Auto Return? Well, the company says it's not liable either because it doesn't actually do the towing. It doesn't even have tow trucks. Auto Return subcontracts to more than a dozen local towers, and they are the ones who ultimately have to pay if they're found at fault.
We basically are like a judge between the person whose car has been towed and the tow company.
Auto Return spokesman Sam Singer says the company's claims manager is that judge, deciding whether a claim is legitimate or not.
This past year, I believe there was approximately 800 claims that were made.
A drop in the bucket compared to the more than 60,000 cars towed, but how many were paid out?
There were more than 150 that were paid out.
We did the math. That's about 18%.
Are you saying that 87% of the claims you get are bogus?
People, I believe, make honest claims of damage, but when they see a reenactment of how their car is towed, they see that what they're claiming couldn't have been caused by the tower themselves.
So you're saying hundreds of people who file complaints against your tow truck drivers every year, in fact, change their mind?
A number of people do.
But what about Moses's claim?
If I were being charitable, this gentleman's claim is illegitimate. If I were being very forthright, I would tell you it's fraudulent. The car wasn't dropped. It couldn't have been dropped.
But according to the 2 mechanics, Auto Return never called either of them to discuss their findings or actually look at the car. And these men say cars do sometimes get dropped.
One on the other side is tightened up.
Sergeants Bill Rossi and John Haggett oversee San Francisco's tow truck drivers. When we showed them recent video of San Francisco tows, they didn't like what they saw.
There were no safety devices attached to that vehicle whatsoever. So it's a very strong possibility if the road conditions were bad, that vehicle would completely dislodge from the tow truck. Every tow that you've showed me here, the vehicles were not properly strapped to the tow truck.
Their conclusion?
Well, I think the tow truck drivers are rushing their tows. They want it returned as quickly as possible.
And Moses believes that rush to tow is what caused the damage to his car, which isn't doing so well. In fact, just as we were about to do the interview,
This car it's dead.
it conked out for good right outside the CBS 5 studios and had to get towed away one last time.
Now, Moses filed a lawsuit against Auto Return in small claims court, and he's still waiting on that ruling. And we should also mention that complaints on the whole are way down since Auto Return took over the city's tow contract from the former tower, City Tow. Remember, if you have a consumer problem, give us a call, 888-5HELPS-YOU.
And the way we saw the car towed at the end, where it's entirely up on the back of that truck, typically that's not what you see when the city contracted company tows, right? They're
Well, they were
dragging it behind.
Those were all the city contracted towers that we videotaped there, but
Right.
they tow in various manners, and that just happened to be what we saw that day.
that day. All right. Thanks, Julie.